Hey guys, Technomentary with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to talk about the iPhone 7 and if it's worth it or not in 2022. As you know, this phone has been around for a long time and you might still have it or thinking of buying it, but is it really worth it based on the price, some of the specs that we're going to talk about, and finally talk about why it's worth it and then why it's not later in the video. So let's go ahead and dive about the iPhone 7 and if it's worth it or not in 2022. Well, the iPhone 7, as you know, released in 2016 of September during Apple's annual release cycle, was sort of a little bit of step up from the iPhone 6s here. As you'll notice here, the iPhone 7 here has a pretty much similar build to the iPhone 6s. The one thing it's missing was that 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, where Apple completely removed it starting with the iPhone 7 here. But one thing that Apple did bring with the iPhone 7 was that it was a water resistant design. So you did have that IP67 rating and you're able to pretty much go under 1 meter of water for 30 minutes. So for the very first time, Apple iPhone became water resistant. Again, that was sort of the innovation thing about it. Of course, the other thing about the iPhone 7 was that A10 Fusion chip that came on board, which was deemed to be a more step up and a little bit more powerful. Of course, a little bit more powerful. When Apple did, they mentioned that it was 40% actually more powerful than the last year's A9 Bionic chip that it designed, and sort of the up performance uptick in that. Again, it only does have 2 gig of RAM compared to newer phones which have around 6 gig of RAM. So if you're really trying to multitask or play games meant to be played on the console, you really can't do that. It just doesn't have that power. So other thing to note about the iPhone 6s, we mentioned that of course you can get it in 4 different colors. You have that black color that you can get it, and you can get it in gold. You can also get it in silver and that special rose gold color as well. So 4 different colors. And if you're thinking about storage configuration, because it's really important with iPhone, because once you get the storage on that, that's how much you can put in, and you can't put another external memory card or anything. So they do start at 32 gig, which in today's standard just doesn't seem like enough. If you download a couple apps, take a couple photos and videos, it fills up. But you can also get it in the other configuration. You have 128 gig model and a 256 gig model, which again are harder to find, but it is still out there. So you have 3 different configuration, but the base one doesn't seem like it's enough. And other than that, if you take a look at things like the camera on the iPhone 7 here, again, it has a decent camera. It's only one single camera, which is a 12 megapixel camera, and it does have the 7 megapixel front camera. Again, that camera that we see here, it is able to take some really good photos that we seen. As you can see here, when you're taking photos, you have square mode, pano. It doesn't have portrait mode, unfortunately. You do need the 7 Plus for that. But when it comes to recording, you do get to record up to 4K. Again, although the display itself isn't 4K, you're able to record 4K videos on this phone and actually play it back, but it's just not going to be played in 4K because the resolution itself is only a 1334 by 750 pixel resolution. It only has 60 hertz refresh rate. It's only a 4.7-inch display, so compared to some of the newer display which are huge, almost 6.1 and above, this phone just seems tiny. It is a tiny phone if you really compare it to some of the newer phones. It's very lightweight. That's probably one of the pros about the iPhone 7 here. So if you use this phone, it's just under 5 ounce or so. So again, really lightweight phone. If you're really looking to have a phone to do basic stuff, it's a great phone for all that. And talking about a little bit about the battery. Again, battery is really important. Unfortunately, the 7 doesn't have, of course, a big battery like some of the newer phones. It does have a 1960 mAh battery, which gives about 13 hours of video playback, which was about 2 hours more than the iPhone 6 lineup. But again, it's an okay battery. So if you're a light to medium user, you're gonna go through pretty much half the day before you need to charge again. Again, you might need to charge it twice, and if you're a heavy user, probably even up to 3 times again. So do expect, if you're trying to use this phone, if you're using it heavily, a couple times of charge are required. Now let's talk about the price point of this phone. So how much can you get this phone? Well, this phone you can actually get it off eBay or Amazon currently for about about less than $100 or so, around $100 or so, compared to a phone like the iPhone 13, which goes up to 800 and above, the iPhone 7, which can run the same software, iOS 15. Again, it's something we'll leave up to you guys to decide whether that price point is going to be something that you want to consider. Now, if you're considering this phone, is it worth it in 2022? We're going to talk about a couple things. Why it might be worth it for you in 22. So it might be worth it for you if you're simply just looking for a phone to call, text, and browse, and then use your social media apps and light shopping app productivity tool. It's still going to hold up well in 2022. So if you're a really light user, that means you're not going too crazy with the phone, you're not looking to play heavy graphic game, you're not looking to use this as your main driver for work and such, it's not going to hold up too well for you. So if you're a really light user, the iPhone 7, again, it's probably a phone for someone that's starting out, a beginner, or maybe a younger kid, older adults maybe as well. It's a good phone for them. But this phone is unfortunately not worth it for you if you're looking to use this phone for the next couple of years. Again, it's going to be relevant in 2022 up to a certain point. So if this phone, as you know, might not get the latest update that's going to come out later this year, iOS 16, although it supports iOS 15, we might not see iOS 16 on it. Again, it's sort of iffy out there because we really don't know what Apple does, although iPhone 6s, as we saw, which we thought wasn't going to get iOS 15, did get iOS 15 again. That was a big shocker for us, but it's a 50-50 toss-up. But for a phone that's been around for a long time, it's sort of at the end of its life in 2022. It's more for a no for us, but again, for someone just wants to get the basic done, it's going to be a yes for someone like that. So hopefully this video review was helpful. We want to hear from you guys. What's your thought and opinion of the iPhone 7 here? Would you buy it in 2022 if you used it? What your experiences has been like, and anything else that you want to share, leave a comment in the comment section as well here. And hopefully this video is helpful. Make sure that like and subscribe button. See you guys next time.